to A Matter of Fact, a weekly podcast that proves that unlike Jon Snow, thanks to the internet, we know something now. And with me this week I have Laura Stevens.
Hey.
Kathleen Squire.
Hi.
Rory LeBron.
Hey.
And I'm your host, Kirby Rawstorm. The game is simple. Each week there is a different topic consisting of 5 rounds, each with its own theme. We've all spent the week researching and have brought our own favourite facts to the table for each round to tell the others. Whoever has the most popular fact wins a point, and whoever gets the best out of 5 is the overall winner. For our second episode, the topic is cars, which covers any wheeled land vehicle driven by an engine of any kind propelled in some way. Round 1, we're starting with world records, so let's start off with Rory.
Evening all. To start off with my world record facts, it's basically about someone who pulled a very heavy car with their hair. India's Asha Rani, known as the Iron Queen, broke the record for the heaviest vehicle pulled by hair by a female when pulling a London bus with not 1, not 2, but 32 people on board, which weighs apparently 12,000 kilograms, which is a lot.
A bit like me.
Yeah. Right?
You ain't kilograms or just a lot?
Yeah, so she also...
Yeah, we're recording this from the bottom of a quarry because we had to make sure that it could deal with the weight.
Oh.
So she also holds...
I can leave the room.
No, not for this reason. Carry on, Rory.
Yeah, so this Iron Queen also holds records, including the fastest 25-metre road vehicle pulled with teeth, and the heaviest weight lifted with hair, 2 ears, and an eye socket. Imagine that.
How do you lift something with your eye socket? Lift this bottle with your eye socket, please.
Like a monocle.
We should point out that we are re-recording this because we managed to lose the first 2 people going in the first round, so we're just re-recording the facts very briefly.
So the question I had from last time, the eye socket, which bit's that?
It's the,
Is it like behind your eye or something?
No, it's
bit your eye
literally
does,
where your eye
it's the bit
rests.
of, it's the
So,
bit of
like,
your
what-
skull.
So how do you attach it? Like, is there a significant...
That was what we were asking
Yeah.
the first time round.
Okay, sorry.
Like, without sort of severely...
So now that we've all caught up.
I mean, unless you... I mean, that wouldn't even... No. Because you'd still
This is
break
why
your
I thought
sinus
the
I
and
suppose
stuff.
if you don't have an eye in it, you could
But then
bracket
this-
something to the back of your skull, but...
Then this is why I thought the whole Puzzy Bear thing, because if you were wearing a strap that goes across your eye, both ears, and then is joined to that, then you could technically say that you were pulling it with both ears and your eye. But if you're actually putting in your eye socket, that's mental, and no one's done that, and I reckon that's bullshit.
It's a fact.
Sorry, I reckon that might be a lie.
This isn't that kind of game.
Yeah, Laura can't even carry a pen in her eye.
What
I
was you
can
saying?
carry a child.
Rory's actually already joint won this round with you, Kath, so it has to be true at least partly. So Rory, how is this true? Just give us a demonstration of pulling something with your eye socket.
Oh, get involved.
Oh, no, I've got beer in my eye now.
Do it from the wider end. Do it from that end.
No, I can't imagine it,
I
but...
can't imagine what this sounds like.
I'm
It's
sure
just
if
an
you look it
audio
up,
recording.
She will see it.
Yeah.
You will see it. You'll see her doing it, because she's the Iron Queen.
The Iron Queen. Yeah.
Come on, get involved.
No, it's not happening.
No, that's too big.
And it's also not your eye socket.
That bit,
No, it's not your eye socket. The eye socket is the bit behind your eyeball.
which starts
Oh my
with your
god,
brow
you
bone.
did something.
Alright, fair enough. And we have Mr. Peanut over there doing the old bottle top monocle. Please don't cut your eye open. Please don't cut your eye open.
She draws you little...
Wait.
I was going to say it's Coraline.
What?
Jesus
No.
Christ.
You mocked me earlier, bitches, and I don't care.
I like how this podcast is going to get really aggressive at the beginning, sort of nice in the middle, and then really aggressive
We're
again at the
timing
end.
each other by the beginning, and then it's... Oh, we're friendly again.
So thanks for that interesting fact, Rory, that didn't at all,
Resonate.
Shock anyone.
shock anyone. No. It's amazing that you're in fact going to win this round. Sorry, okay, back up recording.
Did you forget to turn Clom on?
I did forget
God
to
damn
turn
it.
Clom on.
Oh, Clom.
See, if we don't explain what Clom is now, it's going to sound really weird that we've turned him on. So, Kath, would you like to explain Clom?
Clom is the bestest friend you can ever have. Clom listens to your problems and your worries, and he never judges you. Clom is the best, and Clom is my best friend.
Clom is the dictaphone, basically.
Yeah, Clom's our backup recording device.
And we love Clom.
Even if he does sound like an STD. Laura.
Yes. So, who's the fastest milk float in the West? Well, apparently it's a test that they run in Leicester. So there's an old song about Ernie, the fastest milk float in the West, and he might have been pretty swift on his cart with horse, but more recent events have actually put some proper statistics and numbers against this. Specifically, the most recent and up-to-date record holder was done on the 25th of June 2014, breaking the record, which was previously 73 miles per hour to 84 miles per hour. This was done by the Weetabix on-the-go breakfast drinks team, driven by a chap called Rob Hill. What I find truly ironic is Weetabix drinks don't require milk, so why would they need the fast milk float?
Weetabix drinks don't require milk.
As in, you buy them pre-bottled and pre-done. The Weetabix on-the-go drinks.
Can you order them from Milkman, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. When was the last time you saw a milkman?
Not since we drove out the last one with flaming torches.
2 weeks ago, actually.
Orange juice is not milk!
Specifically 2 weeks ago.
But no, the fastest milk float at the moment, world record-wise, goes 84 miles per hour.
I love that it's at the moment, as if like NASA are continuing tests.
You
You don't know tomorrow.
Milk float is a milk truck, you know, that delivers milk.
Ah, okay. I thought you meant something that floats in milk. I was like, what the hell? Who the hell would need that?
How old are you? Are you from the future? Why don't you know what a milk float is?
I should never heard it referred to as that. It's like, oh, it's...
Roy does have some very strange gaps in his knowledge, it must be said. I
It's weird to have a milk float in your blind spot.
Speaking of which, he didn't know what a bear was.
Brown bear.
No, not the brown bear, the gay bear.
Yeah, that's what they're called, isn't it? Brown bears.
No.
This is...
Maybe this is why you're not getting the interesting clubs that you want. So you keep asking for a brown bear and people are confused.
I wouldn't be accepted anyway, I think. Is it just bear?
Yeah, it's bear.
Oh, okay.
Bear refers to a big, hairy
Big
guy.
gay man, right?
Okay, so, right, I'm up next. We'll move swiftly on. So my fact is that in 2012, a 5-year-old Indian boy limbo skated under 27 cars in 23 seconds. Yeah, it's a good record.
I'm not really so interested in that. I want to see when he attempted the first one. When he thought, I could do that.
No, it wasn't him who did the first one. He beat the record. So the gap between each car was no more than 20 centimetres. The gap underneath the car was less than 35 centimetres. And the previous record to beat was 98 feet, which is the same length as a blue whale. He beat this by reaching 126 feet, which is the same width as 3.5 tennis courts with the double lines, 240 parking tickets laid end to end, or just over half the length of the International Space Station. Which I think is pretty cool.
But it's harder to do in space because you keep on floating upwards into the cars.
True, yeah. But I mean...
It hasn't got the funding it deserves, though, to be honest. We'll never know.
I just think it's quite
I see the
impressive.
video of him doing it.
Yeah, it was
He
really
got to
weird.
the end and he was just like nudging his feet forward with his hands.
But he looked like a daddy longlegs, or one of those things that, you know, skates on water, because his feet were
water
literally
boat.
straight out, and he was holding on to his ankles.
It was odd. They like their facts in India. Well,
Yeah.
their records in India even. Based off of the fact that mine was also from India. That's all I know.
Yeah.
He still skated longer than a whale, so well
Good to
done.
know.
Oh, yeah. Whales find it difficult to skate, so they don't skate very far.
Right.
Pity sniggers, I love them.
Going to be careful about it, innit? Right, Kath, you're next.
Right, so my one is the most expensive street legal car in the world is the Koenigsegg CCXR Trevita. Its exterior finish is achieved by coating carbon fibre with diamond dust impregnated resin. Costing just $4.8 million, only 3 were ever produced.
I wonder why.
Is that the one that comes with like the set of golf clubs and the watch and the thing? There's like an exclusive set of stuff that comes with this car that...
Yes, it's every bit of Pimp My Ride, all in one vehicle.
Yeah, because it comes with all these things, and it also, you can't get them without the car, so it makes them the most expensive whatever in the world. And it's just this big group buy set thing that is probably works out as a little bit less if you look at it that way. But yeah, it's a weird car as well.
It is crazy, and actually, if you look at it, it's also hideous. Like, if you saw it on the street, you would be so obscure you would have no idea that was a car that cost 4.8 million.
Yeah, but it was impregnated by a diamond.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have to pay 4.8 million to get impregnated by anything.
They have to wait around a long time to be formed. You know, I guess they save up.
I don't know how much IVF costs these days.
I don't know. We have to go in Gumtree. I don't know. You get freelancers.
So, how do we feel about that round? Rory, who do you want to vote for?
Well, I'd say that milk one was pretty fascinating because I learned something new in the... What's it called again? Milk floats.
Milk float, yeah.
I learned what a milk float was, and that was pretty great.
And apparently they can go quite fast.
they can go
I still just imagine something wading through like a lake of milk. It's just I was really confused when you were reading it out. I was like, what's
like a
You mean like an ice cream float? Yeah. You know what an ice cream float is, right?
You mean a van?
Oh, that's one of the weirdest laughs I've ever done. Totally worth it.
It's basically when you have like a fizzy drink, like lemonade or Coke or something, and then you get a scoop of ice cream and you put it in the top, and it melts in, so it's almost like a cream soda, but it's got ice cream in it.
That is revolting.
It's really delicious.
Weird. They kind of taste nice.
They're really, really nice.
Okay.
Especially if you get like raspberry ripple or cherry ice cream and do it in Coke, because then you get the cherry Coke. Anyway.
Oh, lush.
Kath, who are you going with?
I'm going with the milk float one now because I can't think of anything else. Now I'm just thinking about a Coke float, and that sounds lovely. It's so hot.
It is. Kirby, why don't we have Coke floats?
Because I don't have any ice cream or any Coke.
Good comeback.
I'm a terrible person. What was that? You'll regret it down the line? Sorry, if you'd have listened to the last episode, Rory, you would have realised that was a punchline throwback.
Sorry.
We do go off topic about cocaine. Well, I go off topic about cocaine quite a lot.
Oh, was it about cocaine? Oh, okay.
Anyway, Laura, who are you voting for?
I'm going to go with Rory, partly because I like the idea of, lifting things with my hair or my eye socket. So
It was
I've
mightily
forgotten about
impressive.
his. Oh, shit, because I was going to go with the milk as well.
okay, well I didn't remind you of that in any way then.
I'm glad I remember.
A massive bus with 32 people in it.
I don't
pretty impressive.
understand how you could bracket something to your eye socket.
But was it Lego
if you're gonna
people
break
and a
it
Lego
in there.
No,
bus?
I watched the video of it. It was bloody good. It was on Spanish TV with some random Indian girl with the when you tie your hair up.
Yeah.
And it was tied to a rope, and then she just pulled it back like that.
I was going to say, just to say, Jess
Properly
doesn't work
squish in her
well.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. It's natural.
There's a woman in Circus of Horrors where she does like all acrobatic stuff hanging from her ponytail, like suspended from her ponytail. That's pretty mental. She's mostly naked as well, which
I
sort
was
of
going to say,
detracts
what
from it.
website is this on?
Yeah,
I feel like it's unnecessary.
Research purposes.
No, it's Circus of Horrors. They were on X Factor, but with a very, very diluted show. Because when I saw them, I saw a little person hanging a waif. The correct term is little person, I believe. But hanging, yeah, still, you've missed the key point of that sentence. Hanging a weight off his bollocks was the point.
Well, it doesn't have to fall
Just sort of swinging it into the audience, and I'm not sure what they did.
How low do your bollocks hang, Kirby?
I'm more referring
Do
to
they
the
walk
length
to
of his
and fro?
legs.
Can you tie them in a knot?
Can you tie them in a bow?
Yes, but no, the effect of
What
gravity
ground?
would be less because he's closer to the ground.
He was stood on bricks because they then could get that sort of leverage for the swing.
Leverage or leverage?
I kid you not, there was a girl in the maybe second row with her mum, who I think may have been about 8 years old, This was after the intro.
Hang on,
They
did he
had
have-
full opportunity to go halfway through the show. No, this was a show. I
His
didn't
knackers
just
out
find a guy.
No. I mean, did he have them out, or was he just? Were they
Fully
just
out.
attached?
Fully out. Naked from the waist down, dressed as a caveman, fully out, hanging away off him, swinging him into the front row. This poor girl, I have no idea where she is now. Yeah, if this goes
Therapy.
public, she can contact me, because, oh my god, we'll be in the same...
We'll buy you a glass of
Support group.
wine.
What I want to know is how bad it smelled. Because imagine sitting in the front row and getting a whiff of that. Like,
I was gonna say, yeah, it's
I
being
was-
wafted, isn't it?
Yeah, I was in the
You got to the
stalls.
toilet
I was in-
beforehand.
there was a guy who put like a knitting needle through his neck. That was quite interesting.
What show
And I
is
was
this?
like, Circus of Horrors.
Oh.
Definitely recommended. It was... I don't know if you can graduate from being an adult to a super adult in the same way you graduate from being a child into an adult, but I think you grow up a lot during that show. Just the things you see. It's like going to Thailand and just, you know...
Vietnam was the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, you know, and just seeing someone
weren't there,
fire
yeah.
something out of somewhere, you know, you grow up a little bit, don't you?
I'd love to see that.
You just think, you gain a little
You
bit of...
didn't know what a milk float was.
I know what the important things are.
Knows what a party cannon is, and what's getting fired out of it.
Anyway, who do you vote for?
I'm voting for you, God help me, which means that the winner of round one is Rory and Laura.
Whee! Woo!
On to round two, which this week is film and TV. Laura, you're up first.
Okay, I'm going to say sorry now to Rory because I don't know if you're going to know who this actor is.
This is going to be
I
a
might
long
surprise
night
you.
of mocking Rory, isn't it?
Okay, so actor Paul Newman has kept his cool hand lukewarm on the steering wheel because he's earned the title of oldest competing racing car driver at the grand old age of 75 years and 11 days at Daytona International Speedway. And despite the fact that he's sadly passed away, he retains this title posthumously.
Do you know who he is?
Do you mean
I recognise the
posthumously,
name.
not posthumously?
I thought you just
He's
meant
doing
it's
it.
not fun anymore.
Yes. Long
Still
after
counts.
it stopped being funny.
Oh, God.
Everyone's like, oh, for God's sake, it's doing it again. Yeah, no, it's great. I love it.
I was going to say...
I'm aware of the name, I'm sure I recognise it.
Yeah, he's the one who did all the charitable work with salad dressings and so on, and famous actor as well.
Lived in an igloo. You know, had that pet dog that talks. That one. Red scarf.
She lied to me.
That guy.
I have no idea anymore.
God, I'm lying.
He was in the film Cool Hand Luke, hence why I say. I'm meant to be the mean one. You're meant
I recognise the name, I think I
No,
know who it
he
is.
won,
Yeah.
he won a Grammy with that song about tractors.
Oh,
This is great. This is to make up a fact hour.
Anyway, Kathleen, what is your fact? You may make it up if you wish.
Am I next, or am I
You are
jumping?
next,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I thought I was jumping the queue. Very well. The Batmobile. We know what that is, yeah. Not the Chris Nolan company.
sorry, I didn't realise it was going to be like this.
I now know why you asked me here.
No, because you're normally the one who's being a dick to me.
Yeah, this is a sting. We've been planning this.
This is something back from all those
Yes. Years of abuse from Rory. Go on.
Okay. I do have a fact. Okay. So, the Batmobile from the 1966 TV series of Batman was the 1955 Lincoln Futura. It was auctioned in 2012 for $4.6 million and had only one previous owner, George Barris, who customised the car for the TV series. So it went for tons of money.
Fair dollar, so.
Almost. In fact, it went for 0.2 of a million, slightly less than that world's most expensive car. But it has no golf clubs. All it has
Or
is the
diamonds.
ability to fight crime.
What was
Well,
it?
the car didn't actually fight crime, it transported the crime fighters.
Well, it depends if you call mowing down criminals crime fighting or not.
No, I call that, a crime.
That's a matter for the courts.
Well, that's why he's a
That's traffic
vigilante.
courts,
And
yeah. But his point is he doesn't kill people, disfiguring them as well. I'm thinking too much into this.
Batman does kill people in the new one.
The new one? Which one's the new one?
Oh god, don't. Well, I haven't seen it.
are we
but I've
talking
heard
about
bad
Ben
stuff.
Affleck?
Yes.
Are we talking about
Batfleck is his name.
I heard he was quite good.
Yeah, apparently he was one of the few shining lights in the film. So I hear.
Let's do this before this begins.
Yes.
No, because you and I will go hammer and Tom.
Yeah.
And I agree with
that was
you.
Marvel.
One of you like it, one of you didn't like it. Was that?
Yeah.
One of you liked it less than the other.
I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Muscle suit. I didn't say anything.
He's wearing what? Nipples on his suit.
Yeah, he's smuggling bullets.
Oh.
That's how he fights crime. Is everyone is so bamboozled by just like, Jesus Christ, are those on the
You know,
outside?
they had the whole thing about
good.
the suit had nipples.
Yeah.
Like for the
Batman Forever.
and Robin.
Batman Forever.
There was two of them. It was Batman.
Clooney put nipples on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They actually,
Actually, Val Kilmer did as well for one of them.
fun fact, they are two different suits. They actually carved the nipples out of the one and glued them onto the other and then resin them back in.
I don't know whether to believe you or not.
I used my fact voice, which means it's a fact. It's not.
Didn't have that little glue bit around the edge where you pushed it down a bit too hard and it's kind of squidged out.
Yeah, but then what you can do is you get some fast cast and you just put it around the edge, and then what you can do with that is you can sand it down because it actually dries hard. It's reasonably flexible, but you can just take the edge off. It's really good because you just like it looks really professional. But the thing is, it makes the nipples look massive, and it's not always even. So you might end up with
But
like maybe
everyone's
a
different, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
yeah. I mean, you might end up with like maybe a 50p piece on one side and a Pringle lid on the other, and it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to transplant your bat nipples,
Call Cat.
Yeah, no, I'm available on weekends.
shocking. Rory, your facts. What is it?
My facts, to do with film and TV. Apparently, have you seen The French Connection?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I have a fact from that film.
You haven't seen it.
No, I
Actually, I
tried.
haven't seen it either, don't
No.
worry. It's not
It
good.
looked quite good though. I looked
This is
into it.
immaculate. I'm really looking forward to it.
It's not a great
Have
fact.
you seen that scene where they actually drink a Coke float on a milk float? And it's so hard.
On top of milk.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful.
Sounds like my
It's
dreams.
honestly, like, I mean, I cried. I cried for days, and it still strikes me sometimes. I just see, milk or ice cream or Coke, and I just
Start
burst.
lactating.
Not these days. I mean, I've had the op now, so it's actually
Yeah, you've
pretty
had
good.
your fat
I
nipples.
was going to say, transfer the bat nipples
Yeah,
on.
no, fast cast them back on. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's my fact. Moving on.
That's your fact is, have you seen The French Connection?
I hear it has cars in it.
Sorry, let's continue there, Rory, with your...
The Rory.
Rory.
it's LeBron, Rory, whatever.
Well, basically, my one is apparently filming from inside a detective hero's car is said to have been so dangerous that none of the cameramen would do it because they have lives and wives and children, many other reasons, and pets possibly. So that meant that the actual director had to get strapped in and film the thing himself because he wasn't married, supposedly.
So he had least to lose.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he didn't die, so all was good. So yay. Also, the co-director of Cars died in a car crash. How great is that?
See, that would have been poetic justice to me.
Yeah, that's why I didn't say it, but I thought it was also related to film and TV.
You double facted.
Sorry, that's not my fact. I thought we've
Done this before.
No, your fact was The French Connection
Yes.
and people deciding that directors are annoying and that you should trick them into doing dangerous stuff.
You don't work in the film industry.
I don't, no.
No.
No, I actually work on a milk float. I don't drive it, I just navigate.
So, film and TV, my fact. 103 cars were wrecked in the 1980s Blues Brothers film, and 104 were wrecked in the sequel Blues Brothers 2000. The original film held the world record for the most cars destroyed until its sequel intentionally broke the record with one more. 60 police cars were bought for the film's main chase for a total of $24,000, most of which were unsalvageable at the end of filming, and they actually reinforced the chassis to make them survive longer.
But then they generally do that with like film cars. What they'll do is that they'll whatever kind of make of car that they want to have, they'll approach that company and they'll ask for basically what are the ones that are kind of rejects for being kind of commercially sold. So there'll be something wrong with them in some sense. They'll still be workable, but they'll be like the kind of fractional, the fractional quality control type thing where it's like, oh well, the stitching is wrong on the seat or there's something like that, because they know that essentially they're going to be destroyed anyway. So they then get them at the price. But it's at the same time it's still advertising the actual car itself, because even if you see it and it gets blown up, you still kind of internalise what you saw on the screen, and you still like, oh, someone blew up a Nissan Micra, and you feel victory because Nissan Micras are hideous.
I saw a couple of videos about like the cars that really shouldn't have been in there, and Nissan was one of them.
Yeah.
But you telling me Bumblebee from Transformers was slightly mental?
No, he's very difficult. He's got an alcohol problem. What? No, I don't remember. What?
I'm just saying, these cars that are in films, you're saying they're all wrong.
Oh yeah, no, it's hard. I mean, they demanding oil changes. They keep on luring young bicycles into their trailers. It's a secret everyone knows about, and nobody says anything. And
I'm intrigued.
It's horrible.
It's like
Kat, how do you lure a bicycle?
With a unicycle, that's the sick thing.
Cool. So recap of facts. We've got French Connection.
Mm-hmm.
What about the French Connection again?
Director had to film the car scenes.
That's it, because he was so dangerous. We have...
Batmobiles are expensive.
Yeah,
Batmobiles
the auctioning of the Batmobile in 2012 was my fact.
Laura, what have you got?
I have that Paul Newman is a very old race car driver.
And I've got Blues Brothers wrecking cars. Kath, who are you going to go for?
I'm going to go with the French Connection one, because it makes me happy that you hadn't actually watched it and that you went out on a limb with that. So I'm impressed by your courage.
I checked the rating on IMDb and I thought, okay, that's a good enough film to bring up, surely. I watched the 2-minute clip.
Did you double check with Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah, I was about to say that.
When's your birthday? Because we'll all club together and we'll get you the DVD.
No, now, after this, we're going to watch French Connection.
It's got wafting things in it, it'd be great.
Have you watched The Italian Job?
Yes.
There we go. See, that would have been...
If you're not talking about the porn film.
No, I watched both, don't worry.
The what now?
The porn one.
I'm intrigued.
To be fair, if there is something that is begging for a porn alter ego version...
You say begging, but...
The Italian Job.
Yeah, but then that's just...
Sorry.
Okay, moving on.
Right, so, Laura, who are you going for?
I am going to go for Cat's Fact because I love Batman.
I think that's a fair, safe bet for me as well. What about you, Rory?
So we had Batmobile,
Paul Newman is very old.
Paul Newman, who I think I know, but I'm not really sure.
I'm going to go for the I think I know.
He's not the guy here in my car. I feel safest of all. Different guy.
Wouldn't know.
Both Paul Newman, that was the joke. Oh, I do love you.
I think I'll go for Daniels. I think that was quite interesting.
Oh, that's very
The car's
sweet.
being destroyed.
Oh, I'm going to say I love you at the end of it next time as well.
This is fun, but it feels quite harsh. I'm going to stop. He's so mean.
It is quite harsh.
She says that. She doesn't mean it.
Don't worry.
Yeah, she is lovely.
I know my purpose in life.
Whipping boy.
That was Miguel. I miss Miguel.
I miss Miguel.
Just to clarify, Miguel was the bartender on our Portugal holiday this time last year.
Yeah.
And she fanned you.
Yeah.
Poured us a lot
Yeah, I
of-
thought you said my girl.
Yeah, I did kind of get where you were coming from there.
Yes. I know he poured us lots of rum.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, like a full tumbler and then just handed you a can. It was amazing.
Okay, that's great. So the winner of that round was Kathleen. Continue.
Yay!
Okay, so round 3 is Poetic Justice, and for this one, we're starting off with me. So my fact is that Carl Benz, i.e. the inventor of the motor car, his first car, which was called the Motorwagen, was stolen by his wife. It was an open-top 3-wheeled vehicle that looked quite like a large tricycle and was the first vehicle to be powered by a combustion engine, so largely being referred to as a car. Carl Benz was a good inventor, but not for marketing. So his wife Bertha snuck out of the house with their 2 sons early one morning and drove it for 65 miles over several days. During this first major excursion, she used her garter to fix a broken wire, refueled the car without a petrol station, which was incredibly tricky, and invented brake linings by getting leather to cover the wooden brake blocks that didn't work properly. So I just think it's quite ironic that his wife stole his car. Also, he was training originally to be a locksmith, and then his major invention was stolen. I find that quite funny.
Moving on.
There it is.
I've missed you. Okay, yeah, fine. Our next fact is Rory.
This one was very difficult. First of all, I was like, poetic justice, what the hell is that? So I'm not sure if mine really is that suitable, but it's quite ironic, I thought, because considering the issues concerning pollution and all that these days. Anyway, in the early years of the 20th century, horses were causing so much pollution with their poo that apparently cars were seen as the green alternative, which I think is fantastic. In addition to the manure, the volume of urine was also so immense and added to the stench. So basically, all those nice films and TV programs that we watch, which make it look so romantic, actually would have absolutely reeked of shit.
Yeah.
Which I think is great.
Because they used to just let it pile up in the street as well.
Yeah.
And the old thing of where you slip over, if you see someone in a film slip over on a banana peel.
It was actually shit.
It was actually a euphemism for shit, and everyone knew it, and they just laughed at it because it was funny, but it would be distasteful to show shit in a film.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I found it out on QI. Amazing programme. Want to meet Stephen Fry, please?
See, this is why we come on this podcast, so we learn things.
Yeah.
Like what milk floats are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
I like to think of this as after
something.
school, you know.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if only how to graft bat nipples.
Yeah, no, it's tricky, but it's worth.
Sand off the edges.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to. That's where the finish is. The finish is key. Cool. So my poetic justice fact. In 2015, a car thief in Drogheda, Ireland, and correct me if I'm wrong because I probably said it wrong, attempted to break into a Mercedes coupe by throwing a rock at the driver's side window. When this was unsuccessful, he came back and tried again with a house brick, which rebounded, hitting him square in the face and knocking him unconscious. The whole incident was captured on CCTV by the car's owner and can be seen online. And I can tell you, it's hilarious.
I can imagine it would be. I didn't check it out when you sent it over, but
He's flat out. It's like something out of a movie. It's incredible. Definitely watch it. It will really brighten your day.
So he threw a brick at a car, it didn't break.
Yeah, no, he tried to throw a brick at the window and it didn't break. He was trying to hit it with a rock so that it would go through, and then he went away, got something heavier, threw it at the window, and because he's quite close, it just went straight back at him.
Oh my god.
I mean, did he throw it funny, or was it actually just a really well-made car?
I don't know, but I'd assume you'd have to put quite a lot of pressure into breaking a car window anyway. But as I say, he threw it quite close. So maybe it was just he hadn't actually gotten enough power behind it to break the window, but it was enough for it to rebound and hit him.
Because the one they normally use in like films is the crowbar with a jacket wrapped around the hand, and that's you whack in the window and then you kind of do the whole bit around the edge to get rid of all the spare glass. Okay, you're looking at me strangely like I'm the only one who watches car break films.
No, more accurately, they generally use a jimmy to push down nearest to the safety lock of the car so that you can pull it up through the leverage, therefore disabling the lock and opening it that way, causing no breakage to the windows and no cause for the alarm to go off. I don't know how to break into cars at all.
I mean, I'm going with just breaking windows, but also didn't they stop making cars like that? Because it was quite a well-known trick.
That, and also the one about how if on particularly old cars you can get half a tennis ball, you put it over the lock, you press it really hard and the air pressure would pop it back up, so pop up the lock and you'd be able to open it. But that was like really old cars.
That's quite cool.
Apparently
It also did remind me of the sorry, Rory.
Okay.
But it reminded me of I was looking into facts for this, and it was I really wanted to find a way to squeeze in about the guy who was infatuated by cars. There's like 500 people in the world who are sexually attracted to cars.
Saw that.
I've seen some of those pictures, yeah.
I haven't seen the pictures, but
I saw a video.
That's 'cause
and the
cats
guy was
are
cleaning it on the
They'll
front.
brighten
So
your
we had
day.
a great night last night. It was basically cleaning off his semen from the front of the car.
Ah.
Anyway.
Definitely not something I'll do with my Peugeot, but maybe.
Laura, you're up next.
I am. So mine's kind of similar to Kat's, really, because in 2003, having left the keys in the ignition of her pickup truck, Takara King's 2-year-old decided to have a go at driving it, then crashing it straight into the transport office in Florida.
How the hell did she reach the pedals? I think
It was probably an automatic.
There was a baby accomplice.
I was going to say, you'd have to be able to push the foot. I mean, they do have an accelerator. It's not just a...
I guess if you just put it in gear, it'll drift forward anyway.
It doesn't go into how they...
But not
But
through
then
a
this is
wall.
in. So
I
this
think
is in
this
Florida.
Yes, I'm not
Yes,
sure
this
about
is in Florida. A mum
Well,
basically
midgets,
left
Florida.
her 2-year-old son in her pickup truck and left the keys in the ignition, and while she was not there, he got into the driver's seat and crashed it into the transport office.
But then if it was in the States, then most of their cars are automatic, aren't they? So it's only 2 pedals. You've probably seen her pushing the pedal and just got in the footwell. And pushed down on the
I
pedal.
said it like it was a... Yeah, I suppose he didn't really need to look where he's going, does he?
Although if you
So you
could
just
look
have-
up her, if you look up her
Yes.
police record, if you look, okay, I'm gonna
From the
start.
footwell.
No, I can't because I'll just be laughing. It's fine.
So we've got my first stolen car, Rory's green horses, or not green horses.
Yes.
Kathleen's car thief knockout, and Laura's toddler crash. Kath, who are you going with?
I'm going with the toddler crash because I already went in for criminals and feel like I have a kindred spirit on this.
Yeah.
Okay, Rory?
What was your one again?
My one was about the guy who tried to break into the Mercedes
Yeah,
and
no,
the
I'll
brick
go with that
rebounded and hit him in the face.
I'm going to go with that one.
Laura, what are you going with?
Brick in the face.
Brick in the face. I too am going with brick in the face.
Yay!
because
Brick
it
in the
is-
face! I highly recommend watching the video. It will brighten your day.
I was going to say,
so
we'll
much.
post a link to,
Yeah.
to the thing. And with that, Kathleen wins the round. Again.
Yay!
But don't you think Brick in the Face, sequel to Dick in a Box?
But then what would be the sequel to Brick in the Face? Oh, mimes don't work. We said this.
I wasn't going to say that one out loud.
Let that be the enigma.
Yeah. Round 4. So, for round 4 this week we have technology. Kathleen, you're first.
Am I? Oh, okay.
Yes.
So, my technology fact is about the moon buggy. So, the moon buggy, used on the Apollo 15 to 17 missions, was manufactured by Boeing and General Motors and was designed by NASA. It was designed, built and tested in 17 months, weighed just 695 kilograms on Earth, which was 116 kilograms on the moon, and could perform a U-turn on a 3-metre radius. Of the 4 made, 3 were left on the moon's surface, and 1 was kept for spare parts and never saw the light of day.
That sounds really ominous.
Yeah. Well, it was kept in NASA. They decided that one had to stay with them.
Fritzl buggy.
Wow.
Oh, come on, what? Too soon?
I don't know. How long has it been? Has it been...
I don't know.
Is it?
I'm assuming they got rescued, by the way. I never actually heard anything. I just heard about the discovery. I'm assuming that the rescue of the people was the kind of the first time that story came out.
This has been such a powerful segue into something totally different.
No, it really
Talking
has.
about a moon buggy, and now we're talking about like a monster who kidnaps people and keeps them in his base.
Who are we talking about?
Joseph Fritzl? You remember the guy who kept his daughter in a basement?
I think I'm vaguely aware of the Austrian or something.
Yeah, no,
think so, yeah.
he told his wife that she had died, kept her in the basement for years and years, and,
And
had
had a
like
child
7
with her as well,
children
didn't
with
he?
her.
Yeah.
It's like
Most
Game
of them
Thrones.
died.
Seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The people, the man up north, or the daughters he had sex with,
Uh,
and the one of them is now with the fat guy,
Rasta?
Samuel.
Craster, that's the one.
Yeah.
Oh, this is one I haven't heard of. What?
Have you not seen it?
And Gilly's his daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now she's at somewhere.
Hang on, is this a soap or is this a news story?
Game of Thrones.
Oh,
It's
Game of
both.
Thrones.
This happened in the pub.
Sorry, no.
What's wrong with you?
I used
It's north of the wall, goddammit.
See, no, I know Game of Thrones, but I didn't hear the kind of the character names to kind of anyway. Right,
We'll draw you a chart later.
all right, Laura, you're up next.
Okay, so my technology fact is that windscreen wipers are an epic tale of how men still try to be right, but they haven't quite got there yet. So basically, man might have invented the car and then had his wife sort it out for him. It turns out they're responsible for making them safe by designing the rearview mirror and the windscreen wipers. Now, as the man has to try and be right, even though they never are, they are now trying to test cars that would not need windscreen wipers at all. This is being done by McLaren, researching into secret trials for a car that can cope without a windscreen wiper by adapting the ultrasound technology adapted from fighter jets to shake off debris from the surface. I think this is a bit overkill trying to get rid of windscreen wipers.
God, that was bitterly delivered.
I didn't really
Sorry about that. I mean,
How do you take my penis
You've been
elsewhere?
hard.
I did read that apparently, a woman invented the windscreen wipers and then they refused to accept it, and then they made some different ones that she then got the rights to or got compensated.
No. I think they offered her the credit for it. I can't remember. And she turned it down. But I could be mistaken.
No. You are thinking of... I know what you're thinking of because I read that article as well. But no, it was the woman who designed the anchorage for the Bristol Suspension Bridge was the woman who said she should have had the credit for it. And she said...
About knowing her place or something.
Yeah, no, she said, women should not be boastful, and so she didn't take credit for it.
Yeah. But no, they invented the rearview mirror as well, but with a makeup mirror. They just put it on the dashboard because they couldn't see behind it.
I'll do that lipstick.
Interesting counterpoint here. How many people drive?
Yeah.
Sorry, hands raised is me and Kat.
Oh, and me, of course.
Oh, and Rory. Bless you.
Windscreen wipers, super useful.
Mine doesn't really work.
If you want to see out the window at the front, which is where the danger is.
I was going to say, but if you had the choice of ultra vibrating them off the front, all the water.
Yeah, but that's going to ruin your radio. You're trying to sing along. You've got a sweet jam going on. At the moment, I've got Beyonce's new album in my car. I'm yelling that out the window at 7:30 when I leave for work, and all I'm going to get is something vibrating dirt off my windscreen.
I was going to go with Don't Stop Believing.
Yeah, that's pretty good as well.
That would have been a good one.
But yeah,
7:30. Go on, do it. Do the Glee version as well. Make it everyone.
I have to harmonise with myself.
Yeah. No. Fight the radio.
No, it's pretty good.
Abuse your neighbours.
No, I have to be much more angry than I am now. I'm actually quite benevolent at the moment, whereas when Beyonce's on, I'm quite fighty.
With men?
It's just with anyone in a car, really.
To be fair, yeah, no. Cats generally alright. It's Laura the ones who hate men, so.
I got that.
I was about to say...
No confirmation.
I was about to say I'm gender neutral. That's totally not the word. What I meant.
I believe the term is gender fluid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
I don't hate men, I love men. You all know this.
Yes. Moving on. Rory. Rory, you're a man. How do you feel about this?
I love you.
I feel to be used. So this is a technology
Most people would pay for that.
To be abused.
Yeah.
By me.
I'm pretty sure that's what's happening to me right now.
Have you not been in Soho before? Past about 8 o'clock at night. There's a lot of that going on.
Yeah, see, I left before business hours started.
Just having a Primark.
This one's about Chinese people, so I think it's
Wow.
Oh.
So apparently Chinese people, or researchers specifically, they have developed a car that is controlled by your thoughts. Chinese engineers from Nankai University in some place in China have developed...
What kind of population does some place have?
Please start again, sorry.
What are their exports?
Sorry, we want to start again. That was a good time.
I was pretty pleased that I managed to say the university name correctly.
Okay.
But anyway,
Yeah, I was quite proud.
the place doesn't matter, alright? Put it that way. They developed a system that can read brain signals to control a car. Currently, the technology can drive a car forwards, backwards, can make it brake, or lock or unlock doors without any physical controls. And it was developed for paralysed or elderly drivers, apparently.
That's quite cool.
Sounds a load of nonsense to me. I have absolutely no idea how that could possibly work.
Well, it makes sense that you would kind of do that for people who are essentially disabled. But then at the same time, it's like, if you were going to put that into the mainstream, and obviously all this technology does eventually hit the mainstream, the stressful thing about driving isn't for actually physically moving your arms in the steering wheel or moving
other
your feet. It's the actual mentally being engaged
Losing
in what you're
concentration,
doing. And that's doubling it because you're aware that if you lose concentration for a second, if you kind of sit there and you're driving your car and you go, oh my God, I'm so late, it's going to speed up.
Yeah, and you can't, like, it's not like having your hands where they just rest there for a little while, maybe. I don't know, maybe it might be. Because basically there was a bit on one of the No Such Thing as a Fish podcasts about... Shout out. No Such Thing as a Fish. And they were saying about how you can link various different memories. So someone in a university managed to link an image of Jennifer Aniston to something like the Golden Gate Bridge by putting them together and associating them, and a particular part of your brain lights up. So if they show you a picture of Jennifer Aniston or the Golden Gate Bridge, the same thing would light up, something to that effect. Basically, a certain part of your brain,
Like a sort of Pavlovian response thing.
yeah. So you see something and then you start associating the things, and the same part starts lighting up for both things.
That's like an MRI machine, isn't it? When they show you certain images, and then depending on your relation to that image, if it's something that has happened in your life, then there's an object that brings your memory, so it will trigger certain part of your brain, and other things trigger other parts.
Yeah, it's also one of the main themes of Clockwork Orange.
I love that film.
Yeah.
Though, interesting fact about Clockwork Orange, you know the scene where he's having sex with two women?
Uh-huh.
They're actually two 10-year-olds. In the book, they are two 10-year-olds. He brings back two 10-year-olds and has sex with them.
Not in the film.
Yeah.
Not in the film, because
Lots of facts about
that was considered, that was, I think, the one of two things that was considered too obscene to put into a film.
Yeah.
Paedophilia, which is, I think, not...
I think
bad.
still stands.
Yeah.
I mean, trying to think of any film that's actually done it. I suppose.
Lolita. Jeremy Nans.
Serbian film? That was that scene in Serbia. No, yeah, don't watch it. Don't watch it because it's horrendous, but...
There's a German film, or a film based in Germany that's either German or Norwegian, that's about like child prostitutes. It's pretty rough. My girlfriend really likes that sort of shit.
I was going to say, on a more...
Wow! And the podcast thus became evidence.
Hey now.
This might be cut out, yeah. No, I'm to a lesser extent American Beauty. She's quite young, isn't she? She's about 14. The cheerleader girl who...
No, she's not meant to... Isn't she meant to be older than that? She's meant to be like a senior in high school, which essentially would make her like about 16, 17.
Okay.
I suppose it depends what state you're in America, because in some states you are, like, the age of consent is 16, and in others it's 18.
In the Vatican it's 13.
Speaking of sex, did you hear about that baby that was born recently that has like some kind of defect?
Where are you going with this?
That has meant that it's grown, or it's gained sexual urges from the age of like a year old, and it has chest hair and it urges to want to have
But
sex.
then, like,
Okay.
I have it on good authority from
Well, I
people...
think all
Which is
children
pretty fucked up.
who are male, certainly, female children probably not so much, but all children have erections. Male children.
Well, I remember when I was about
Yeah, the women might
10,
struggle.
getting erection thinking, this really hurts. Why do I keep getting it?
Yeah.
Particularly at school.
I can't go into the rant of stuff I know about this because it makes it seem very, very wrong.
Are we talking from a position where we all have friends who are mothers?
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
So let's just lead in with that.
Yeah, the weird facts that you learn from people who have young children.
Well, basically, all toddlers masturbate.
Sounds about right. The number of
Absolutely,
stories I've
all
heard.
then-
toddlers masturbate.
But then I would assume that
Well, maybe not
at
all.
that age you're not really attaching it to kind of... I suppose
It's just
mentally not
feels
attaching to it. Well, not even that. I think it's like kind of essentially just your body checking that it's working before you kind of come of age,
Systems
as it
check.
were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
still there.
It's not just that, it's a pleasure response, but you don't understand that that's a pleasure that is seemed as taboo due to today's social norms and expectations of whether sex is something that should be done outright in public or not. Therefore, it's just something of a pleasure response, which is a bit like...
Question. But surely when you notice a load of white crap coming out your penis, you think, what the fuck is that? And you
You're
really
not really
notice.
looking at your penis to...
I don't know, I never really thought that
myself.
myself.
Yeah, but semen...
Because I don't remember that ever happening.
Semen only actually really comes into existence during...
Comes, sorry. Sorry, semen comes into existence. Please continue.
The ability to ejaculate in such a way comes into existence around the time of puberty due to what happens with your scrotal sac and how it drops, and therefore it actually accesses that fluid and seminal fluid. So before that, you wouldn't actually see anything that's particularly white, similar to what you do as an adult. It would come out very much similar to a clear liquid, almost like urine, just a bit thicker.
Interesting. A friend of mine dry humped a sofa once. He was before, like, thinking about sex, but it was a stage where it felt nice. So he was just like rubbing it against the side of the sofa for ages, and then eventually reached the climax.
Oh, God.
What did the sofa look like?
Oh, I don't know, I wasn't there.
Abused.
It's the problem.
But apparently he was just stood there with his hand in his pockets, just rubbing it against the side of the sofa, thinking, this feels nice.
Yeah, but that carries on long into adulthood of just putting your hands in your pockets and just...
Yeah, but it's funny
checking they're still there for some reason. This is why everyone loves riding ponies when they're young.
Yeah, see, I have heard that.
Why is this particularly also that girls like doing horse riding when they're young? I suppose, as you say, they don't really understand it at the time. They don't really understand what kind of extra level of their enjoyment, rather than it just being an activity anyway. But it's
all these innocent things that are just being ruined by the fact that it's apparently all sexual and
it was ruined.
nice.
It was ruined by the Victorians ages ago. If we'd all just accepted this stuff a long time ago, we'd be fine.
I think they were actually... They're not as bad as most people think. It's one of those things that they... everyone thinks of the Victorians as kind of all very civilised and stuff.
They did bring us a lot of shrunken heads, to be fair. The British Museum...
They were
pretty big on sex.
They were, but they were also quite sexually repressed in the view that although there was a lot of sex and manufacturing of dildos, the wooden dildos, etc., that exist, etc., but that's pretty much where the lie back and think of England started.
Yeah.
Sex was more to be endured by the woman than enjoyed by the woman.
No. The person who actually said that was 60 years old and she was still having sex 3 times a week.
Of course it was. So all the priests that say you shouldn't have sex and then fuck little kids.
Good point,
Yeah,
well made.
it's exactly like that.
Do as I say, not as I do, right?
Okay.
Okay, there were facts at some
There's
point.
a lot of stuff getting edited.
So what was this topic? This is technology.
So we moved on to wooden dildos, yeah. Right, okay, so last fact of technology before we interrupt with anything else that gets us off topic. Yeah, mine's really chaste and innocent after all this shite. Mine is that the world's smallest motorised car is absolutely tiny. To be specific, it's a model of Toyota's first passenger car, which is the 1936 AA sedan. It's 4.78 millimetres long, which is about as the same as if you were to take if you take your headphones and look at the jack, the pluggy in bit of the pair of your headphones. It's from the tip of the jack to where the black line is, the first black line, which is actually tiny. I thought it was a bit longer than that, but I measured it myself. It's 1.73 millimetres high and wide, which is thinner than the chocolate in a Kinder Egg.
I was going to say, cream eggs are quite big.
Cream eggs are quite big. No. The chocolate that borders a Kinder Egg's toy threshold.
The ones that you want to put in your mouth whole from the
Yeah.
last episode.
Its bumper is 50 microns thick, which is half the width of a human hair, and the 1 millimetre coil inside it drives the car at 0.011 miles per hour, and it's 4 times slower than a garden snail.
So it can actually move.
Yes.
It's like remote controlled.
Am I the only
No,
one who...
it's like, I think, a clockwork type thing.
Why?
Because the Japanese like making tiny things. That's going in.
Am I the only one who thinks, God, what a horrendous waste of human endeavour? Like,
Yes.
we haven't cured polio yet, and we're doing this kind of crap.
Well, the thing is, you can't focus on it. Like, if absolutely everyone focused on polio, then yeah, you might cure polio in a couple of years. But at the same time, you'd also then you lose all the diversification that we've developed as humans.
Well,
but you've got...
the reason why I say polio, and definitely getting cut because it's a super long explanation, but the reason why I choose polio is because that's what's being solved by the Bill Gates Foundation at the moment, is polio. And the reason is because polio is most rife in countries where it's very difficult to reach, like the most kind of remote villages and things like that, to be able to immunise against it. I mean, we all had polio vaccinations when we were kids. because we live in first world countries, and it was basically, polio is basically a dead virus in this country. But the idea was that if you could cure polio, you could cure anything, because whatever you had come up as for like the infrastructure of how you were going to cure that would work for anything else that happened. So all of those kind of zombie movies about like, oh my God, what if this happened? And when Ebola happened and all of that kind of thing, when you kind of go like, how the hell would we cope with that kind of epidemic? The answer is the one that's being cured by polio at the moment. And I have totally lost the reason of why I started on this rant.
Okay. But
Cut that.
I was going to say, yeah, because you're saying that it's pointless that people do things like create tiny, tiny cars up until the point they use the same technology that they've used to develop the incredibly pointless tiny car. I mean, no one's particularly going to use that, but what they might also use is one of the cogs or one of the tiny, tiny mechanisms that they've learned how to make by making that tiny car,
Well,
by
I suppose
any of the processes that they use to kind of create it. I mean, it's a tangent, but you kind of transfer knowledge and stuff like that.
I suppose.
Laura, hello.
Or they might just be starting to make an actual Ant-Man.
Haven't seen that film. Is it any good?
Yes. I would say that. I love all comic book stuff.
Yeah, see,
I still haven't seen it, but I saw it in Civil War, and I was like, I should really watch this film.
Ant-Man was in Civil War.
Yes!
I haven't seen Civil War.
Out!
Get on it.
Now.
I do find it a bit bizarre that Paul Rudd's in the films, but because it seems like such a different type of person compared to the rest.
You know what
Have
it's
you watched-
great.
It's
Have
great.
you
It makes it
watched,
a completely different like tone to the film when he comes in.
Have you seen Tim and Eric Awesome Show, Great Job?
Yeah.
Have you seen the one with Paul Rudd in it, where he's basically Googling himself doing sexy dances? Every time I see him now on screen, I just think of
So how far have we got into your fact now? Or is it finished?
Oh, that was No, before the discussion
That
about
was so
polio, I
hard.
finished.
Yeah.
And then
So I
after
think
it,
we
I
have to
kind of
go
concluded.
through all the rest of the facts now because it's been way too long.
Yeah.
So, Kath, we've got your moon buggy that never saw the light of day, like the Fritzels. Windscreen wipers from Laura.
Women's windscreen wipers.
No.
Women's-
Getting rid of windscreen
Women's
wipers,
screen wipers.
by making car screens vibrate instead.
Because
Of
men.
course. Yes, because
Right,
men
because
are
men.
evil. That was it, yeah.
I did not say men are evil. That is not
It's
as
quite
personal.
It was heavily implied.
Because there's already kind of chemical finishes you can do to stuff where they're basically completely water resistant.
Yeah.
So why would you vibrate it when they've already come up with a chemical finish that does it anyway?
So there's new cards that you can get to put ketchup in and it literally just falls out instead of having to
Yeah.
try and spoon the rest of it out.
Right, so, and then we have your something for cars.
Oh, the Chinese one. Yeah, it was about
Oh, thoughts
controlling
for
cars
cars.
with your
Yeah,
mind.
that'll do.
Yes.
And, yeah, my
Tiny
mini
car.
cars. Yeah. Laura, who are you going with?
I am going to go with Cat.
I get the feeling Kat might win this one. Kat, who are you going to go with?
I'm going to go with mini cars because it made me go on a massive tangent.
That was a hell of a tangent.
Yeah.
Rory, what are you doing?
Then I go for Cat just for the fact that it led to us talking about sex, which is great.
Good time.
Thank you for that.
Always.
You are welcome.
And I like thought cars because I like things that are powered by the mind, so that's kind of my one. But with that one, Kathleen wins round 4.
Yay!
No, in fact, Rory's going first on this round.
Yay! That's something funny.
Moving swiftly
That
on.
was really exciting.
Yeah.
Go on.
So, my free-for-all fact today is that South African residents can legally attach flamethrowers to the sides of their cars to defend against hijackers or carjackers even.
I'm moving to South Africa.
Apparently the blaster was liquefied petroleum gas flamethrower and the occupant could flip the switch and direct 5-metre plumes of flame upward into the facial area. Apparently it wouldn't kill the human that's trying to enter your car, but it would
Yeah.
probably blind them.
Yeah, seriously, it doesn't do nice things.
And apparently this was to combat the fact that Johannesburg was like top of the list on rape, like carjacks, murders. But apparently this didn't have that good of an effect because it ended up meaning more people got shot before they could trigger this flamethrower defense mechanism. So not a great idea really in the end, but it sounds cool.
It sounds cool, but at the same time, I won't be putting it on mine and moving to. I won't be moving there to put the flamethrower on mine.
So
we
in
go?
South Africa.
Yeah, Johannesburg has a higher murder rate than New York does. It's actually the highest murder rate in the world. I think actually it's unbelievable that Mexico City is behind it as well, considering how much problem they have with drug cartels.
Also very beautiful, and I recommend the safari park.
Also, 'cause I think a lot of places, particularly like South America and Africa and stuff, people here who are just used to going to nice European countries on holiday, we make it sound so much worse than often it actually is, but I don't know about Johannesburg, it sounds pretty rough anyway.
There are some genuinely beautiful and wonderful places, and the shopping malls are great, and the price of everything is amazing. On the flip side, not being able to walk down the street as a white girl is terrifying.
And on that high note, on to Laura.
Hello. Okay, so my fact, I'm afraid, isn't actually that much brighter, Kirby, and you told me to go with this one?
I did, actually. No, it is quite a bit, because it involves something interesting, and,
Okay, so apparently, allegedly, Hitler designed the love bug. So, allegedly, the moustached art college dropout instructed Ferdinand Porsche to manufacture the Volkswagen, which is literally people's car in German, and they went on to design the Volkswagen Beetle. But there is actually a sketch surviving from the 1930s, which is apparently penciled by Hitler himself, which resembles the first production Beetle so much that it's quite eerie, therefore suggesting that Hitler designed the car himself.
It's a Nazi car.
Driven by hippies!
but it's a love bug, so it's awesome. And I like bees.
Love bug.
Get aboard the Nazi wagon.
No, you must be know Herbie, the love bug. They did a remake of it with, was it Hannah Montana in it?
Lindsay Lohan.
Oh, I think it's one of those.
Same thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Well,
so
yeah.
Herbie was
And the
love
sky is blue.
bug. Sometimes. But yeah, no, it was a famous car. There were a couple of films about in the 80s/90s called Herbie the Love Bug, and it was basically a beetle.
The only famous car I know is that one that I just forgotten what it's called.
It can't be that famous.
What was it called?
Batmobile.
No, it's this little one that would
Beetle.
like wake up in the garage and you'd watch.
Oh,
Herbie.
Brum, yeah. It's great.
Brum annoys
I used to go
the
down
shit out of me.
I used to go down to the old Wickham Library with my mum and my brother, and we'd get a new episode each week and watch it of Brum driving around. It was flipping great. I loved it.
Libraries are good. There should be more funding.
I haven't even been to the new one yet.
Speaking of fun car facts, one of the ones I researched for this that I didn't get in was obviously Bond cars have amazing gadgets, so on and so forth. The worst Bond modification that I could find that was specifically done for a Bond film was, I think it was Tomorrow Never Dies. It was one of the Pierce Brosnan ones, and it was the BMW Z something. And I don't know if it was the first modification, it was one of the first ones they made, was they modified this car to have 6 cup holders. Because. And it was a specific Bond modification. It
Because
wasn't
martinis.
because
I'd be
Martinis,
impressed
because
if
something.
it held a martini glass. Which
I've no idea
cup
what kind of
holders
help-
don't, quite frankly, and I think that's a fault of
Depends how
them.
wide the base is.
Apparently, the first James Bond car, one of the modifications was it had a sat nav, which is pretty flipping great.
Okay, that's quite.
So it was
Yeah,
like
that
the
makes
first ever sat nav.
Yeah. And then there was
So
the
they're kind
bulletproof
of
screen. and all the rest of
preempting the
things.
future, a bit like
Yeah,
Star
well, they
Trek
wanted
with
like
their
a futuristic thing, and it's actually
Yeah, but then I'd assume that maybe at that point when they
They've
put it into
teleported
the
stuff
movie,
now.
it was already military technology that they were
Yes.
developing, and so someone had found out about it that way, knowing that it was something that would happen in the future.
next fact. Yeah.
Okay, so I am the next fact. Sorry. So,
The next fact is just me.
the next fact is my one, and mine, I've been saving this up for years. I saw it ages ago on an episode of Nevermind the Buzzcocks. So my fact is that in 2005, Brian Harvey from East 17 ran over his own head.
True!
Yes, it is. He was leaning out of the car door and reversing in his Mercedes in order to be sick. And he claims that he ate too many baked potatoes, with air commas, and then he hit the accelerator instead of the brake when he fell out. And he fell out of the car and ran over his own head. and he managed to also hit 4 other parked cars in the process. Or parked vehicles I've got here. I don't know if it's cars, I'm assuming it is. Speaking after the incident, he said, I haven't had a jacket potato since. I could never eat them again. And I'm going to assume that's code for crack. Mm-hmm. I love that story.
Cocaine.
Yeah, but similar story. Have you heard the one about how, you know, the in Lionel Richie's video for Hello, there's the blind girl who's like sculpting his face. Apparently they took that on tour of them. It fell out of the tour bus and they reversed over it one day.
What, a bit like the Mrs. Doubtfire?
Yeah, like literally like smush.
Okay, cool. And, sorry, Kathleen, you are the last one.
My free-for-all fact is that Norway has very strict rules on advertising cars as green because they believe that cars can do nothing good for the environment except less damage than others.
The Norwegians like nature, don't they? A bit weird over there.
Well, but it
Maybe.
does something that they don't
Sorry,
like.
remind me of the nationality of, what's her face? Yeah,
Maybe Norwegian.
maybe Norwegian. Okay, cool. We'll cut out her name, don't worry. But yes, his partner's
Who are we
Norwegian.
talking about? We're talking about...
Yeah, we're talking about rules.
So, Mrs. Rory.
Oh, God, don't say that.
Oh, come on. Yeah. So your missus has got a crazy policy on cars?
Oh, yeah, they have crazy policy on anything. They have, like, rules about drinking. Apparently, because they have Norway Day, that obviously we'll have national days, but we don't celebrate it here. We don't give a shit. But they celebrate it big time in Norway, and apparently, like, a week beforehand, all the liquor stores, or general alcohol stores, because they can't buy them from supermarkets, close, so that people can't buy any for the day. She's like, such a stupid rule. It's like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
So you're going to get so much
Well,
business.
so that's-
And it's a law, they have to close them.
To celebrate your National Day, everyone has a code and app.
Yeah, it's stupid. But yeah, as a result, when my girlfriend went back, she had to buy a load of alcohol at the airport before she got home, so that they could actually enjoy the day. But they got some like weird
Well, I
rules.
think the point here is that not that Norwegians don't want to drink, it's that they're forced not to drink, so they have to go to crazy measures, which therefore induce interesting stories in order for them to be able to drink.
Which leads into drugs.
It's like the age of prohibition, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I was going to say, it was a guy I worked with, he had I think a Swedish girlfriend, and he was talking about how Scandinavian women are so beautiful because basically the Vikings only stole women who they thought were so beautiful, and now it's kind of been essentially like bred into their population. And I made the point of saying, yeah, but they left behind the women who were smart enough not to get kidnapped.
That's what they're blonde.
Nice.
Yay!
Cool. So, for round 5, Laura, who are you going to vote for? We have, just a reminder, we've got Rory's Flamethrowers, Laura's Nazi Beetle, my Head Run Over Guy, and Kathleen's Norway Green Cars.
I'm going to go with flamethrowers.
Rory, who are you going to go with?
I think the run over the head one was pretty great.
It's a difficult choice between someone getting their head run over because of jacket potatoes and... I'm going to go for that. I'm going to go for that.
Awesome. And I like the Nazi Beetle because I like Nazis and beetles. No. I'm going to go with the Nazi Beetle because I actually quite like that fact anyway. But that means I win that round, which is...
Hey!
Because I was really nervous I wasn't going to run around this one. But it means that our overall winner is Kathleen. Well done, Kathleen! Thanks to all of you who've joined us for our second episode of A Matter of Fact. It's with great pleasure that I say thank you to Laura Stevens,
Hey!
Rory LeBron,
Sorry.
Kathleen Squire,
Yay, I won!
and me for joining me. I've been Kirby Rawston. Goodbye.
Bye!